The number three law of boundaries in relationships or in marriage is the law of respect. That's a very common word we see, but we are very selfish people as a human being, most of us. What happens? We want others to respect us and our boundaries, but the law says we have to respect others' boundaries first so they can respect our boundaries in return. Because even if we don't want, 99.9% of the people will respect our boundaries if we start respecting their boundaries. But most of the relationships are one sided based on the selfishness of human beings. We want all the love, respect, and care from the other partner. We don't want to give it. We don't want to give it. That's the unfortunate reality we have to face every day in our relationships. First, if we become the person the other person want to see in us, they will become what we want them to become. We have to become what they are looking for, what they want us to be. We have to start showing them the respect of their boundaries. We don't have to deviate or cross the line of their boundaries. Only then they will realize that how they have to respect ours, how important it is to follow the boundaries and respect the boundaries in a relationship. So respecting is the first thing you have to take care of, not be selfish about respect. Next is the law of motivation. The motivation brings us to the next part of saying no. We have to have the motivation of doing everything with respect, love, and the willpower of our own selection in a relationship. Mean we have to understand what our heart says and is willing to do and willing to put in the relationship. The power of saying no before we start saying anything heartedly, full heartedly, saying yes is the respect and strength in the relationship. If we know we can say no to this particular thing or action in a relationship, and then we are able to do that, that is with the power of love and respect. So, important thing is love drives out fear. In love, we are driven by affection. We have to take out the fear factor from the relationship, and that is with the power of no. That motivation has to be inside the relationship, not inside us, inside the relationship, that we are able to say no. When we see that we are able to say no in a particular action, in a particular moment, in a particular feeling, or about a particular thing in a relationship, and then we decide to say that yes, I am willing to do that, or I want to do that, I want to act like that, I want to behave like that in a relationship, with the option of no there, then that is true love. Without the option of no, that is just fear. Fear of losing the relationship, fear of the insecurity in a relationship. Without that, that is not a healthy relationship. The next law is very beautiful, the law of evaluation. We have to evaluate what kind of boundaries we are putting in our relationship. That evaluation is the key. I want to read out my notes that I have written in my beautiful handwriting for you. I don't want to miss them because this is a very important point here. Putting harmful boundaries is a revenge. Boundaries does not have to be in a revengeful manner in a relationship, that I am putting this boundary in a relationship and you have to respect that. That is not a good relationship, and that is not a healthy boundary. So the next part is we need to evaluate what pain our boundaries cause to others. We have to evaluate that. If I am putting a boundary in a relationship, is it hurting the other person, mean our partner? Only then we can set up a collection of boundaries that is in a healthy manner and the other person in fact loves it. In fact, we should be understanding our partner would not only respect but love certain kind of boundaries. You have to have that, but that should not be at the cost of giving pain to them or giving taking out a revenge out of them. Then that's not a loving relation. The next part of it is also unloving to avoid setting boundaries to love, because you don't want them to be uncomfortable. So this is the beauty of relationship. You have to have conversations and discussions that are uncomfortable to each other. Otherwise, what's the point of relationship if you can't expect to have these kind of conversations or setting up certain boundaries that can be uncomfortable to each other, but that will strengthen your relationship. Here a very beautiful line is there, I don't want to miss that. Sometime pain and boundary is best friend to a relationship or a marriage. You have to understand, sometime having these discussions and coming out with a unanimous kind of boundary that will give a healthy relationship is coming at the cost of pain. You have to accept that pain together. Not one person has to accept that. You have to work on that pain and boundary together. That painful boundary has to be accepted by both partners. You cannot just be one sided on that part. You have to love and respect that pain. Only then you're showing to the other partner that after evaluating, still that pain is there. That pain has to be accepted. That means you are giving respect and love to the other party, other partner, and they will in fact respect and love you more in return, because you are either accepting or able to discuss that uncomfortable pathway and go through that way. Thank you very much. Hopefully you learned a lot. Please subscribe, and if not, you're lost. Thank you very much.